Hey everybody, welcome to another Thoughts of an Introvert video. My name is Brittany. As you can see, I'm just in here kicking it, got my little Sprite shirt on. You know, it's nothing too crazy, but I have about 2 or 3 weeks worth of information and notes and stuff I took of stuff I just needed to get out my thoughts, you know how I do. But one of the things I saw online on TikTok specifically is this whole introvert versus extrovert thing. And it really triggered me because some people were making introverts out to be a villain. And I was just like, hold the hell on. I have to set the record straight because, yeah, no introvert slander on my channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm around back to the people that have to play the blame game when it comes to introverts. I'm going to come back to y'all. But people that know the extrovert versus introvert dynamic is like really gold once you put it together. Because first of all, extroverts, it's crazy how I'm gonna put it like this. Extroverts know how to work the room. Introverts know how to read the room better. Like, it's like everybody has their role they play in life. And the world, like I said before, is not just extroverts, introverts, ambiverts. But if we're going to talk about it like that, I have to put it in those categories. So, for example, say the extrovert is throwing a party. Once they're in the party, they're working the room. Like, they're talking to everybody. Introverts, especially like me, who have social anxiety, we're not going to, right off the bat, be around talking to everybody. It's going to be good energy, but I just don't have anything to talk about right away. And usually when introverts are like that, we have something about our style that people like. We'll usually have maybe an edgy haircut or some wild pink hair or something like that as a conversation starter. So once we get to talking, usually that's what works when people approach us, because they're like, oh my God, I like your jacket. I like something that you got going on. So that's how sometimes we'll put ourselves out there. No, we're just kicking it. We're just being cool. We're not really trying to do too much immediately because that's not our personality, a lot of us, speaking in general. So the extrovert will come back. Like, they'll, in the block, come around, see what you're doing, just check on you. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate friends that do that. It's not so much like, are you okay? Are you all right? It's more so, so what you find out, what you got going on, who you like, what you did, that they really want to know your perspective on this party. And so you're like, okay, I met such and such, they're really nice. That person don't like you that well because I'm reading everybody. And then I could say, oh, your friend in the blue, you need to talk to her because nobody noticed, but I saw that she was crying a little bit when she came in. Like, introverts, very intuitive, we can see that. Extroverts, on the other hand, will be like, okay, that's my friend Mike. He over there, he has this studio, and he also has this t-shirt company. So I know you got your channel. Maybe y'all can collab. And I told him you'll, come over there and I'll tell him about you and stuff like that. They are mingling and working the room, and they pretty much can get you opportunities. Introverts, I'll tell you, they give you little brownie points when it comes to your friends because we peep stuff that you may be too busy. Extroverts are very surface people. And I don't mean this in a condescending way at all. I mean this is the way they survive. Like, they go off the energy of everybody else. And if this is their friend, let's say Sheila, she's a baker. That's all they need to know. Oh, that's my friend, she a baker. Oh, okay. That's all I need. I just take people as face value, what they, given to me. For introverts, it's more so I need a deeper connection with you. I need to know more. You're a baker. What kicked it off? What set your heart on fire? What's your passion behind that? That's something that a lot of introverts want to know. But we also are very deep people, but we also run out of social energy as well. So it's like, okay, hold that thought. I'm going to be right back. It's not personal. And so the people that really pick fights with us, and when they see that we dip off for a little bit, they're like, why did they leave? What's their problem? Oh, she must be snooty. She must be bougie. And it's just no, I'm literally having a mini panic attack and I just need some alone time, So extroverts really get introverts and vice versa. So anybody that has a problem with you like that, that's like, oh, she's nasty, and they don't even know anything about you, never had a conversation with you, those are not your people. And I just had to really get that out there, and hopefully that like party analogy or whatever helped. But it's something that's really important to me, and I hate when we get that backlash for being like this mean person when we don't have a mean bone in our body. Like, we really don't be trying to like make waves like that. That's very disrespectful. Now it's getting to a point, it's disrespectful. Like, you know, did y'all see that video? It was probably like a month ago now, but T.I.'s son King was in a Waffle House, and I'm guessing it was some pickles or something on his sandwich, and he didn't like that. So he go up in the Waffle House like, yeah, hey, y'all need to fix my sandwich, da 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 da. And they was like, yo, who is you? Like, talking to us like that. And he was like, oh, yo, mama know who I am. And just being really disrespectful. So I'm not going to touch on that too much. But I did, T.I. came out and was like, instead of him like reprimanding his son for, you know, treating hardworking people as such, because in restaurant food service industry, it's always going to be something that goes wrong. Just if you knew the behind the scenes of what people go through, and then versus putting, you know, the product out there, it's always going to be something going wrong. And that's nobody's fault, really. It's just like the facts of life. So everybody's going to make mistakes here and there. But at the same time, that doesn't give you the right to disrespect anyone. And I hated the fact that T.I. just told his son, yeah, it's some people that's going to want to be you, son. So you're going to have to just tread lightly and not take it personal. I was like, so you're going to ignore the fact that how he was talking to those people? And I feel like that's learned behavior. And to be honest with you, I don't like the way people are teaching their kids to treat service workers. You know, treat everybody with respect. Respect and kindness is half the battle with everything. Like, just respect people and their space, their job, whatever you got going on. You ain't got to do too much. And I felt like he was doing the absolute most. And when you train or raise your kids to be little shits like that and have no respect for people, don't be surprised. Like, when you run into some crazier stuff. Like, he ran into the right Waffle House. You know what I mean? Like, anybody else, any other restaurants, yeah, it would have been crazy. So I just feel like everybody needs, when it comes to service work, y'all just have no idea. Like, it's gotten worse. I said this before, like, working with the public, it's gotten way worse since the pandemic. And it's almost as though, like, when people were in lockdown, they were teaching their kids this disrespectful behavior. So now you got like this mean ass person and they mini me. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I stay prayed up, and I pray for, you know, everybody that works in the service industry. I got a sandwich from Subway last week, and I couldn't even enjoy it because I'm sure, I don't know if y'all heard about the lady who worked at Subway. It was too much mayo on this guy's sandwich, and she was shot and killed over it. So I'm eating my food, and I'm like, dang, like, somebody got killed over a fucking sandwich. Like, it's really sad once you think about it. And people really who don't have a control over their life, they go to fast food restaurants, they go to like hotels, and they treat service workers like trash only because they feel like they can get away with it. And there's like this fake hierarchy of, you have a service job, so you're the bottom of the barrel. I can treat you how I feel about you in this moment. It's very sad. And all I can say from this video is, if you go to restaurants and you go to places where you see people hustling and making their money, show your appreciation and just be kind, because they're providing the service for you. Now, if you get some horrible service, that's just that isolated incident. It's not across the board. You can just start treating people like that. You know, I had to put that out there because people are very nasty. And if I see you being nasty to a service worker, I'm going to call you out. And if we was cool, we will never be cool again. That's some BS. I don't like that. So I have a question. If there's any like middle-aged, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, if there's any like middle-aged women on here, why don't y'all like being called auntie? Like, And when I see people online or in these videos calling somebody auntie, it's not a sign of disrespect. Because from my brain, from like a millennial's brain, it's pretty much, we calling you a fly woman. Like you that thing. Like honestly, our aunties are like another mother figure to us. So when we saying, oh, that's my auntie, it's either auntie, aunt, TT. I'm a TT. I'm, somebody's auntie, and I love it. So when they say TT Brit, that's my joint. That's me. So when somebody is calling you an auntie, it's not to be disrespectful. Now, if they saying it in a condescending way, which I haven't heard, but I understand if you don't like to be called something, that's your, decision and choice. But I just want to say, like, it's not coming from a horrible place. Because like I said before, growing up in the 90s, like, your auntie, especially when she had the little short cut with the little, it was crisp right here. And, had the cars, the little boyfriend, and the whole aesthetic of the khakis. And she'd come over and smell like some rich fragrance. That's auntie. You know what I'm saying? That's just who it is. And it's a sign of respect. It's just like we see you as a motherly figure. And especially, people call Regine or Kim Fields. She said she expressed she didn't like that. And I was just like, I get it, but at the same time, it's coming from a loving place. So I just want any older women, they don't like for you to call them older. Like, it's like almost like things that we deem respectful. It's kind of like, no, don't call me that. And it's just like, what would you rather want to be called? Just your name, or like, but I don't know. Auntie is fly to me. I love being an auntie. So I also want to thank everybody who tuned in to my last video. That one took off, and I'm really, happy about that. But it's a conversation that needed to be had. And I just want anybody and everybody to know I am never embarrassed or shameful to talk about something that I feel. You know what I mean? Like, people like, oh, you went through all those horrible relationships, or somebody said something real ignorant in my comments. So that's why my comments, like, it's kind of turned off, turned on like that. Only because I don't mind having open discussions, like I said before. But I'm never ashamed of anything. No, I'm not looking for nobody to save me. It's more of so like, this is life, and life gon' life. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be some situations that happen to us that we're just going to be like, okay, what was that? And we're all just trying to make sense of it. It's nothing to be, embarrassed or ashamed to talk about. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it happened. And no, I'm not salty or anything like that. It's just, it is what it is. And it's a discussion that I feel like a lot of us need to have, and don't be so afraid to have these discussions. They shouldn't be, so taboo. And also, I'll take it a step further. Especially in Chicago. I'll put the link to the Twinish podcast where we were talking about narcissistic relationships. It's a part 1 and a part 2. And this is coming from a man. It was like, Chicago has a very strong pimp culture to it. And I want to go up there and say it also has a strong pick-me culture that goes hand in hand. Like, it's up there with footwork and mouth sauce, the bean and all that. You know what I mean? So I feel like that really does mold like how a lot of friendships and relationships out here go. I'm not going to get into it in this video because there's a lot more I want to talk about. But if you like to talk about it more, I'm going to put the links in the description for those podcasts if you want to listen to them. But yeah, like, it's going to be some crazy things that I talk about that I experienced that I want to see like if other people are. And surprisingly, a lot of people have. It's just kind of embarrassing to talk about those situations. But I'm here to say that it's life. And life gonna be life. Did y'all watch Girl in the Photo on Netflix? First of all, I feel like that documentary was so like wrapped up. Like, it was very straight to the point. So I'm glued to the screen. But I also cried at the very end, and it's crazy, no disrespect. I did not cry, about that story. Like, her story, and the fact that her parents failed her, like, that's not why I cried. I cried because I know that there are thousands, if not millions, of Black girls that went through that and didn't get an inkling of the coverage that this family did. Even though she was considered like poor and things of that nature, and she didn't have like a mother and father that was actively looking for her, it's people that, Black people that go missing, and you don't get to hear their story. You don't see it nowhere. And then like 6 years later, they have a documentary showing that, oh yeah, nobody seriously started looking for them until 3 months later. Like, they don't have any, backing behind it. And it's just so sad. So that's why I cried, because I'm just like, her story was awful, but it came beautiful, like in a beautiful circle. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to spoil it, but if y'all ain't watched it yet, but it is really sad that it happened, but it's also sad that that it's a lot more stories like that. Something that's really corny to me is when people don't just support the art. They always have to talk down on it first before they support it. So when Drake dropped his album and Beyonce dropped the Break My Soul single, I felt like people was just automatically hating because it was like house dance music. And I'm just like, we need that. We need all that. We need any type of good aura, good vibe, good energy, good party music out here. And people just like, nah, that ain't it. What you looking for? I just want to know, like, what would be more of your cup of tea? Because it seems like what anybody put out, oh, that's trash. But you ain't even give it a chance. Like, the album wasn't even out for like 10 minutes. People was like, oh, don't like it. He falling off. Like, and then y'all be looking at people album sales, and I'm like, y'all know music don't sell like it used to. So when people used to go triple platinum the first week it's out, it's like nobody buys like albums like that anymore. So like, calm down. Like, and if you really rock with them, support them anyway. Like, it's just not, oh, I gotta hate, then I can like it. And I feel like that's the same thing with everything. Like, people like clown you and tell you what you're doing is trash before they end up, you know what? It's kind of growing on me. It's kind of like, whatever. A few things I want to kind of endorse, but not really, because they ain't paying me. It's a dry shampoo. This is the orange and mango kind. This is the only kind I like. I like the smell of it. But when you have your hair straight, especially in the summertime, and our scalp sweats and stuff like that, and all the oils we needed to get down to the bottom. So we're not going to wash our hair that often, especially if you have, kinky, coily, curly hair. So you're going to need a dry shampoo. This is the one I use. And you just, what I'm saying, little something. Just so you can have like a nice little fragrance, especially like you moving around a lot, you're going to sweat in your hair. But you also want it to, smell fresh. So get you a dry shampoo. Also, you already know Bubble R. I need to hit them up because I put so many people on to them. I love me some Bubble R. It gives you a burst of energy, and it also doesn't make you crash later. So yeah, that's that thing. I just have a short message for anybody who used to be previously a people pleaser, or you gave people like multiple chances, and you mostly been quiet. Like, you're more of a reserved type. And now you starting to feel like, okay, I need to start doing what's best for me, because people would take advantage of the fact that you were so caring, that you did everything for everybody else. But when it came to you, people would give you the short end of the stick, or, it's just like you felt like you was disregarded, or, your feelings aren't taken into consideration, and you starting to put yourself first. So it's coming across as mean, or people like, oh, you're kind of distant. It's not that. It's just really you figuring out who you are. And I just want everybody to know, like, that's the best way. Whatever is best for you is the best way. And you don't necessarily have to be mean about it, but definitely you have to stand up for yourself, because if not, people will run all over you again and again and again. until you start saying, no, enough is enough, and I'm standing on this. So it's just a short message, but definitely do what's best for you, and don't feel bad. Don't think twice, because you don't think twice about doing something nice for somebody else, right? So do what's best for you, and don't feel bad about it. Thank you all for tuning in. I love this conversation. I just had to get all this stuff, even though it was like random. It was just things I was thinking about, and I actually missed getting on here and talking to y'all. So I'll be back. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna give you a time frame, because I don't need y'all talking about, okay, we ain't getting no, you know what I'm saying, a video in so long. But it is what it is. I'm back, and hopefully next time y'all see me, it'll be a new, you know, background, new environment, and I can't wait for that. So that's all I got, and I love y'all. Stay up, stay blessed, and we out.